Okay, so there's clearly been a lot of updates on this situation regarding Andrew Tate, and there's a lot I gotta kind of explain. I made a video on Andrew Tate like 2 or 3 videos ago, and I'm not gonna lie, the video makes me look a little stupid right now. Andrew Tate, who Ethan and Gila would adamantly say on the podcast that he would traffic women, that he would kidnap women, all because of an article that was posted with, again, absolutely no facts to it. Truth is, the reason why I've left it up and I don't plan on taking it down is because at the time, I stand by what I said. H3 had absolutely no evidence to be accusing him of sex trafficking. Right now, I can reasonably understand how somebody could come to that conclusion. Here's the thing, while I have to admit I was somewhat of a fan of Andrew Tate, especially at the time, I can't sit here and blindly support somebody without critically looking at them and determining whether or not the evidence against them is true or not. I think one of the things that drives me insane about most creators is that when they are a fan or friends with another creator, there can be video footage of this person murdering somebody, and they'll sit there and be like, well, no, that's not him. My friend? No. That video is actually photoshopped. I know the guy who did it. So here's the thing, as much as I love Andrew Tate and I loved a lot of his advice, I have to sit here and agree that I think he's going to go to prison for I don't know how long. And no, it's not because the Matrix is after him. If he does get released and he doesn't go to prison, I mean, honestly, I don't think of that as a negative either, because I'm hoping that there's no evidence to prove that he's guilty of anything. Here's the thing, I don't believe he's going to go to prison for most of the crimes that people are sitting here saying that he's going to go to prison for. Most people who dislike Andrew Tate or are following Andrew Tate and his case right now think he's going to go for sex trafficking or SA-related crime. But even though they have that audio that's been released, and they had that girl saying that she was SA'd by Andrew Tate, I don't think it's enough evidence. Unless there's a lot of evidence they just haven't released, I don't think that audio and her just saying is enough. I know what you're probably thinking. The audio clearly says that he's done it. How do you not believe it? And no, it's not because I think it's AI, which was the dumbest argument I've ever heard. You can't just call something AI and not have any proof of why it's AI. It doesn't sound like him. What, are you, his best friend? It sounded exactly like him. I think that he's into this kind of sex. So I don't find it unlikely that he would have sent that and it was just a mutual consensual thing, because there was that video that was released of him doing this to a blonde girl, which got him kicked off Big Brother, and it ended up being completely consensual. So I don't believe it's AI, but I do think he's going to go the route and say, hey, no, this is something we were both consensually agreeing. But what I will say is the reason I think he's going to go to prison, and in some sense should go to prison, is because of fraud. I think a lot of people mistake that a lot of the times with sex trafficking, they assume it's some dude pulling up in a white van and they kidnap you and then you're just gone. You're never seen again. But the reality is most of the time it's done by coercion, tricking them, taking advantage of somebody who is a lot less smarter than you. The same way somebody could go to jail for doing a Ponzi scheme where they inflate the amount of money they're going to make and therefore take advantage of a bunch of investors. Not that much different for this. He told women they were getting a certain percentage or cut that was a complete lie. They thought they were getting 50%, they were getting 30%.
To tell your girl that you're paying the tax. Because girls are lazy, and girls are stupid, and girls don't understand how taxes work. Tax to make sure we don't get in trouble. She'll sit there and go, okay. Now that allows you to do 2 things. One, it's another control element. My tax is not a problem. If I do it alone, I have to deal with taxes. Taxes are complicated. It's a control element. And he allows you to pay her a smaller percentage. So I used to pay my girls 30%. So for every $10,000 they made, I'd give them 3, and I'd keep 7. They thought they were on 50%, and I said that the disparity is because of taxes. So you're on 50%, but we had to pay the tax first, and then it's 50-50. If they say, why is it 50-50?
He was purposely missing out on taxes, and he said it himself, he didn't really care about them making money. It was all about him.
I don't know what they're fucking signing. Let's throw them away afterwards. But they think something's happening. Something real's happening. Nothing's happening besides me getting rich, bitch.
He would lead them there with a false sense of marriage or different false promises, but in reality, he was strictly there to trick her into getting into the adult cam industry. He even stated that he had women who didn't even work in the cam business. They were just in charge of cleaning out his money, meaning his money was dirty from something else. I understand somebody could give good advice, and I could understand why a lot of the fans are disappointed and don't want to believe this kind of stuff. I understand where a lot of the Tate fans are coming from. They hear this kind of stuff and it takes away from a lot of what he said. Because here's the thing, when you're gonna say so many things that are so controversial, you better make sure you have a very clean record, because now they're going to use this to discredit everything he's ever said. I think Andrew Tate is somebody who has a very big ego, and he couldn't keep on the inside a lot of the things he wanted to tell people. He wanted to tell people all about how much money he has. He wanted to tell people all about how he's tricked all of these women. So I don't find it completely unreasonable that he would make these videos and just incriminate himself, because he really thought he was so high up there was no way he was going to get caught. And listen, to anybody who says the stupid argument that they were making so much money, who cares if he took some money? Because I've heard that one before. I've literally had somebody say that to me. That is the dumbest argument ever. You can't just steal money from somebody because you guys make a lot of money. With that logic, we could just go to big department stores and steal from them, because I'm sure they'll be able to recover from it. You can't lie to somebody and say, hey, you're getting this amount, and then give them a different amount and tell them it's because of taxes, and you don't even pay taxes, and then just run off with the money, even if it's a lot of money. Think of it, if these girls made $1 million a month and they wanted to get 500,000 of that, in reality, you just took away $200,000 from them. But it's arguments like that that make me realize that a lot of these Andrew Tate fans aren't going to sit there and actually listen to what's going on. Even if Andrew Tate comes out himself and says, I stole a lot of money from these girls, I still think Andrew Tate fans would sit there and say, oh, so what, who cares? That is the type of person you can't rationally have a conversation with, because they're not open to changing their mind. Overall, I think they're going to go after him for tax evasion, maybe fraud, or just different ways of sex trafficking. I don't know if they're going to get him on the sexual assault charges. I just don't think there's enough, and I don't really know if I believe it. But the reality is he's got a lot of money to sit here and genuinely think that he hasn't done one immoral or illegal thing to obtain that amount of wealth. I just think you're being really naive. He can still give good advice, and he could still say things that were impactful and meaningful and helped people, and do something illegal. They're not mutually exclusive. I just wanted to make this video to clear things up, because I literally made a video saying H3 is a horrible person because he accused him of sex trafficking with absolutely no evidence. And I really sat there and defended Andrew Tate, and I can stand by the fact that at the time I don't think there was anything for him to be going after. But like I said, I could totally get where somebody could get that opinion of right now. To all the people who are going to watch these videos of people being just a little bit critical of Andrew Tate and then leave comments like, oh, you work for the Matrix, or this person's just an NPC, I need you to really think about what an NPC is, or somebody who's being guided by the Matrix is. Somebody who's an NPC cannot form opinions or think for themselves. So let me ask you, who do you think is more likely to be an NPC? Somebody who's following a crowd, or a single person who's just telling you exactly how to think? Somebody who's freely able to make an opinion? Because just sitting there and regurgitating, this is the Matrix, or whatever you want to say to defend him, you're just copying everybody else. Sometimes you need to be able to look at a person that you know and love and say, listen, yes, they've done a lot of great things, but he fucked up. I don't know how big the penalty of this fuck up will be, but we'll see what happens. Anyways, I would like to thank you for watching this video. If you liked this video, make sure you like this video. If you didn't like this video, make sure you get an AI recording of my voice saying that I've murdered 3 kittens and thrown them onto a highway. Anyways, thank you for watching, and have a good day.